Pep, I thought we'd just discuss a few things that have happened off the track leading up to the race in Barcelona. And one of the things that I was heartened by, I guess, was the improvements made for the Ferrari. But before we go there, a lot of teams were touting in the lead up to Barcelona the improvements that they would have leading into the first European race of the season. And for some it seems to have worked, and for others it seems to have not worked as well. But I think we'll start at Ferrari, mate, and I think a great result for Felipe Massa qualifying in P4.
Yes, mate, Massa has delivered some pace from that Ferrari, and I think possibly Kimi would have as well, except for the arrogance of Ferrari and or Kimi. Kimi took it on the chin a little bit and said he thought he'd put a banker in. He thought that he'd done enough and has started and didn't, and is therefore starting way back. But Massa has done well, as you said, mate, P6, and P4, and so maybe there's a little bit of pace coming from that Ferrari finally.
I'd like to think there is. I'm not sure whether it's so much arrogance as stupidity or whatever it is with Kimi. When you think about it, we're into the fifth race of the season, and this is twice now that Ferrari have basically kept a driver on ice.
Yeah, not good enough, Max.
When it comes to qualifying. And I was as stunned, as I'm sure you guys are as well, at their attitude. It was quite frankly astonishing to me. Yeah. Bringing all these new bits to the race, Felipe's gone out and done the best that he can, and has qualified on the second row. What's Kimi doing? Cooling his heels in the garage. And I mean, let's not look at lay blaming or anything like that. Kimi sort of partially, almost intimated that, well, might have been me, might have been someone else, might have been a combination of the both of us, but just not good enough for a team of Ferrari's calibre, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Max, Martin Brundle in the BBC coverage made a comment that Ferrari need to start behaving like a midfield runner rather than just putting a banker in and deciding that that's good enough.
As unpalatable as that is.
Exactly, yeah. All the other teams were running around doing more and more laps. Ferrari were in the garage. And, they need to understand that they're behind the eight ball. They're not going to be on pole position. They're not going to be even in the top, on the top couple of rows.
Mate, they've got 3 points after 4 races.
Yeah, so they need to, change the way that they look at the qualifying. And yeah, I think it is stupidity, Max. I just don't think they've woken up to the fact that they need to... And the grid is so tight this year. I mean, we're talking about 6/10, 8/10 between the first,
Well, 5/10 between the first 5 runners.
Yeah, and even when you go back further down the grid, I mean, there's not a lot of gaps, so you have to keep running. You have to put another set of softs on and go again. And, Ferrari, well, I just don't know what to say about this.
Would this have happened under the Jean Todt, Ross Brawn tutelage, do you think? I doubt it.
I doubt it, yeah. I think they just need to look at the writing on the wall and say we haven't got the pace, we need to stay up in Q1, Q2 as long as we can.
But I thought Ferrari would have learnt from the first time this happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's happened twice now.
Okay, first time I'd go, oh, for heaven's sake, come on guys, you're better than this. And everyone would go, yeah, we know, it won't happen again. Well, it did.
Yeah.
And they've severely compromised their race now, unfortunately. I mean, everything now hinges on Felipe Massa, which, is, for all intents and purposes, capable of delivering a good result. But you've effectively got an ex-world champion starting from P16.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, not good enough. And I hope that, as Chris Dyer, the technical director, said, unacceptable.
Yeah.
And it is unacceptable, and let's hope that Ferrari can put this behind them and move on next race.
Well, Max, they've got Massa in P4, but it's a little bit worse for McLaren, who have come to Barcelona and supposedly got some new parts and some new, some new bits to the car. You've got Lewis in P14, you've got Hakey in P18, and Lewis is actually saying in the press that the car is worse than it was in Bahrain. So,
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
yeah, so, if you talk about Ferrari, that's fine, but McLaren's actually, in worse, in terms of qualifying it at the moment, anyway, in a worse state. And, it's just sad, Max.
I was interested to read Lewis's comments about the fact that, we bought new stuff here and it didn't work. And I'm thinking of that from a motivational perspective for the guys back at the factory and the like.
They wouldn't have liked that comment, I tell you.
They wouldn't have liked it, but unfortunately the results bear out the fact that something didn't work. Here you are, the incumbent Formula One world champion, puttering around back in 14th position. It doesn't bode well for McLaren. Now, it does... I don't know, I said to Pep off camera, I said, does this look as though the McLaren may have been born bad? There I've said it. You can strap as much aero on any car as you want, but if it's been stillborn...
If the fundamentals are bad, then you're not going to improve too much.
That's not going to work. Well, you remember a couple of years ago that McLaren introduced an interim car because the car they put out didn't work. And it seems to me as though there's shades of that sort of thing happening now.
Yeah.
And for a car company of this calibre, for a Formula One team of this calibre, as I said, the incumbent drivers Formula One world champion, to be going down this path again is pretty lame. Maybe they didn't adapt to the new regulations as quickly as the other teams, and that seems to be borne out with their results at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt they're really struggling, Max. I was talking to someone during the week who's not a big F1 fan, but they did know that Brawn were winning races, and I just said, the whole championship's being sort of turned on its head, where you've got the big boys like Ferrari, McLaren, etc., not scoring a lot of points, and these other newer teams doing really well. And I think you could be right, Max. I think this McLaren car could be a little bit,
bit stillborn.
Yeah, and we'll have to see whether they can scrape in and win a race or two. But there's certainly, even at this stage, they're certainly not going to be a world championship contender, which is really sad for a team like McLaren.
Yeah, proud history.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Everyone goes through their ups and downs, so hopefully McLaren can claw their way back from this and put in some good results towards the back end of the season.
All right, guys. Well, that's our thoughts on the issues. So leave us a comment and let us know what you think.
All right, guys. Enjoy the race. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.